You're listening to Creatives Prevail, unraveling the stories of creative professionals.
Hello everyone and welcome to Creatives Prevail. I'm your host Mike Zimmerlich, and my next guest is indie pop artist Nep. In this interview, we talk about posting daily and gaining early traction without burning out. We also jump into shooting a music video at a dirt speedway for her latest single, Florida Girl, as well as her debut album, Noelle. Let's get into it. Hey Nep, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, thanks. Thank you so much for being on the show. I really do appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, no, I've been really digging Florida Girl, but I have to say I really like Biketober. Like, that was a really cool song.
Thank you so much. The sleeper of the singles.
It honestly is. Like, it was like super catchy, and honestly, that was the first song that I listened to
really?
when I was sent over the press release, and I was like, oh, I love this.
Oh,
so,
thank you so much. That means so much.
Yeah, so I really like that song a lot. But I was curious though, because I was going through your socials a little bit, and was music your first choice? Because I know you went to University of Miami for school of music, but was that your first choice for a career, or did you have something else before that?
Oh, no, absolutely not my first choice. I never thought that this would be a feasible thing that I would ever do in my life, ever. I really wanted to be a graphic designer most of my life. I loved like physical art, like drawing. And then when I was in high school, I kind of got into psychology a little bit, and my family is like all computer science majors. So I was like, oh, maybe I should do engineering and like kind of follow the family legacy. So I remember I was really stressed out searching for I was like, do I want to do mechanical engineering? Like, I don't know if I really want to do that. And my sibling, who's a few years older than me, was about to graduate and was like, well, why don't you just try like sound engineering? Like, that's a thing. And I was like, it's a thing? And they were like, yeah, like look up schools with sound engineering. So I applied to 2 schools. I went to the one that was the Bachelor of Science engineering degree. And that made it a lot more feasible for me, I think, because I was still kind of split between doing something that, I don't know, seemed like successful and like on the path that my family was on, but also like I got to sing all the time, and it really, really helped me when it came time to be like, okay, I think I want to be a musician.
That's so cool, and congratulations, by the way. That's an amazing feat to be in the program alone, let alone going through the whole thing.
Thank you.
So. And also, too, I was curious, you mentioned about graphic design. Have you incorporated any of that into, like, have you done any of the graphic design for your own self, for your artwork?
Yes, I have. Yeah, my whole first EP, I drew the cover, and I designed all my merch for that. I'm trying to get back into drawing right now, actually. I got an iPad, like, 3 years ago, and I kind of went crazy. Like, I was like, this is so cool. I'd never done digital art before. So I'm kind of getting back into, like, pencil on paper stuff now. I always have loved that, and yeah, I'm trying to get more into like hobby things that I can do in the creative realm.
That's great, because also too, I know sometimes we feel like, especially if we are creative in general and want to do that as a profession, that everything we do creatively should be a part of our profession.
Yeah.
And sometimes we need to take a step back and go, you know what? I'm just going to do this for fun.
Yeah.
I want to do this for me. And it's something that I enjoy, and it's something that may give me some peace, maybe give me some relaxation. So I feel like that's important to realize, like, maybe I'll just make this a hobby for myself, and that's okay. But it's also okay too if it helps with your profession. I like to say it's enjoyment. Sometimes I like to say it's practice.
Yeah,
That's
it's
another
like
way I like
just
to put it
getting the creative juices flowing in some way. Like, hey, whatever it goes to, I'm happy.
Totally. So let me ask you this, because obviously now you decide you want to be a musician, right? And you're starting to want to build your audience, have people be aware of your craft. And obviously you use social media, because social media is no question, whether you like it or not, it's the most powerful tool that's out there for communication and to get that word out there for what you're doing. Yeah. But I also noticed that pretty quickly you started posting on platforms like, TikTok and Instagram, and you got traction fairly fast. Like, even on TikTok, like, I noticed, like, right off the bat, you were getting like 5,000-10,000 views per video, like right off.
It's definitely really interesting, because I feel like every person I hear of that has had success in the industry, I'm always like, wow, they got famous so fast. Like, wow, they saw popularity so fast. And then when you kind of look into it, it's like, oh, well, they were actually like a professional dancer for 10 years, or, oh, they were working in this industry for for longer than that. And it's like not the same story with me because I am still pretty young. I'm 22, but I started making music when I was like 13, and I didn't post on socials. Like that wasn't really a thing back then, was promoting your music on TikTok. Like it was Musical.ly back then. I don't know. So I was mostly just like posting random covers and like little MP3 files on SoundCloud, like back when that whole Claro wave, like indie wave, was going through SoundCloud. And somebody was like, put this on Spotify. So I was like, okay, like I'll figure out how to put it on Spotify. I remember I forgot when my first song came out on Spotify. I was like, oops, this came out 3 days ago. Like, sorry guys, I didn't. So I had like a little audience. I wasn't really like focused enough to gain any of that stuff. And then yeah, in college, I posted, I think Soup. So it was like some rock cover did really well, and I was like, wow, TikTok's kind of cool. And then I posted Soup Song, which is one of my like earlier songs, and that's, you're right, it was kind of like immediate. I was really surprised and lucky, because I feel like it's really hard to stay motivated with that stuff, and being able to like immediately feel like gratification was like, okay, I'll keep doing this. Like I know this can happen, so I'll keep doing this.
But how did you keep that momentum going for yourself? Because I know sometimes you can get fatigued, right? About like, oh, I have to keep on posting because if I don't, I'm going to start losing that attention.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not the best at it. I find it like great to have like a system where right now I think I'm posting like every day, and I feel in a groove with it because it's just part of my regular routine. But I mean, my last semester at college, I actually fully like fell off of the internet because I was like, I'm so sad and I'm going to fail every single class I'm in right now. So I don't have time for this. Like, I think it is still important to prioritize yourself, because if you're not happy, like, oh my gosh, the job isn't fun, and music is supposed to be like the funnest job ever. So it definitely helps me a lot to be having fun with it and like be excited about videos rather than feeling like I have to post them.
Speaking of which, I did want to segue to the music videos, because music videos are super fun and cool too. And when the latest single, Florida Girl, like just came out, the music video, you look like you had a blast.
I was having so much fun.
So yeah, can you talk a little bit about, because also the production on that was like, is pretty up there. I mean, you have like dirt races. I don't even know what you call it,
like
but
a derby.
like a dirt race,
Yeah.
A derby. Thank you. That's what we're looking for. Derby. Like you had all kinds of crazy stuff happening in the video. So can you talk a little bit more about both the single Florida Girl as well as the music video?
Totally. Yeah. So Florida Girl is kind of like, man, a lot of the album is about just me not really fitting in where I'm from, and like having this kind of back and forth with being from Florida where I don't fit in, but also it's kind of fun to tell people you're from Florida because they think you're crazy, and like I am a little crazy, and just kind of like struggling with that idea of like, who am I? And then this video, we drove like 2 hours north out of LA to this awesome like random dirt speedway. The nicest people I've ever met. They were so sweet. And yeah, we got to like sit in their cars and like film all this stuff in the cars and watch the races. We even got to go down in the dirt pit while they were racing and like hitting each other. It was so freaking amazing. I've never had that experience before. I'm kind of new to the whole visuals and like music video thing. So I definitely was pushed out of my comfort zone for some of that, which is like very Florida Girl, is like, hey guys, like I'm walking around your family, like very nice speedway in a blue bikini top. Like I hope you like me, like that kind of thing. I feel like it was very on brand for Florida Girl.
Absolutely. And it's nice that you mentioned the fact that you were feeling like you were taken out of your comfort zone, right? Because that's the other thing too, is we get so acclimated to our regular routine of things that we need to take ourselves a little bit outside of that and do something that we're not used to, or something that may be a little bit uncomfortable for us. So I think that's important for growth.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Take something a little less seriously. And I was like, wow, that wasn't bad at all. Like nobody thinks I'm weird for this.
So I do want to talk about also the fact, congratulations, because when this recording comes out, it'll be right around the same time that your full-length album, your debut full-length album is coming out. So congratulations on that fact.
Thank you so much.
Can you talk a little bit more about that album, the process? Because I know you came up with an EP prior, so this is not your first albumish per se, but definitely full length for say. So was there a little bit difference between this and the EP? Like, can you talk a little bit more about the process?
Yeah, it's definitely really interesting because a lot of people, I remember when I came out with Nep's Storybook, the EP, it's 12 songs long. So people were like, why are you not calling this an album? Like, this doesn't make sense. And I was like, I'm reserving that. You can call it whatever you want. I'm reserving debut album for when I have like a more cohesive body of stuff. Because the EP was songs that I'd written around like 2 years apart, and they didn't really have anything to do with each other. And this album I wrote maybe in like 7 or 8 months time, like all together. And I think everything to me makes sense. I hope it makes sense to everybody else, but there's so many like motifs going through all of it, and I tried to reuse words and like make everything connect, and I've actually never had something so established before. Like, I feel like an actual like grown-up musician, like with my little suit and tie on, being like, look at my debut album, it has a actually professionally shot cover, I didn't draw it on my iPad this time, like that kind of thing. So it's kind of cool to break into like that part of artistry that I never have before, like a kind of polished thing. Yeah, it's definitely not what I'm used to, for sure.
Well, that's really, really exciting, and I'm glad that it's actually very smart to kind of reserve it to like where the debut album, essentially, as you mentioned, where it's a cohesive craft of work, that it was designed to be an album rather than essentially a collection of songs. And I think that's a great distinction between even though technically it's not an EP. If you had 12 songs, it definitely is technically a full length. But I get the sentimentality of it, and also essentially defining you as an artist, because I also noticed too, going back to your earlier works, it's a quite different sound than where you're at today. And that's a very natural thing for many artists to go through. Yeah. But I think it's also important to define that this is where I'm at now. Yeah. And this is the debut of who I am as an artist as of now.
Oh, that's great. I love the way you said that. Yeah, definitely. I love the sound I had on Nep's Storybook, but I have been posting the songs from this album, and I have been getting a little bit of like comments that are like, oh man, like we missed the acoustic stuff, like this would be so much better acoustic. And I fully understand that kind of stuff, because I do love writing folk music, but I also want to like push myself, because folk music is like what I naturally write in. Folk music is what is natural to me, and honestly the kind of music that I listen to is more like, I listen to a lot of emo music, I listen to a lot of rock, and I really wanted to like, I've always wanted to make that kind of thing. So I was like, oh, for my first thing, like wow, I really want to do what I want to do, kind of. So it's definitely cool to be debuting an album of stuff that I want to put out.
I can understand that, and I can hear the progression towards that. You'll see I'm wearing a Where Were You Young Sideshow event t-shirt. Yes. So like I'm a huge emo rock person. Yeah. So but that's really interesting. And I've also seen, I've represented a number. I've been in the music industry for a long time and represent all kinds of artists. Yeah. And so it's very interesting. I've worked with singer-songwriters who've gone through that process where they started out acoustic and then they kind of moved on to doing something that's a little bit more, that has a more production behind it. Yeah. Maybe adds a little bit more rock or some other elements into it. And I think that is a natural progression. And yeah, your OG fans are going to be like, well, where's the acoustic? I know for myself, sometimes I get very much nostalgic like that, where I want to hear more of the boiled down version. But I think that gives you room, and I also think that just goes to you as an artist, that if you boil everything down, if you boil all the production out, this is the core of who you are. And I think that's what's interesting about acoustic, is that it's just you. Yeah. And it is totally reliant on your musicianship and your lyrics.
Yeah, no, totally. That's such a beautiful way to put it. I definitely love like stripped back raw stuff, and I think like maybe I will do that stuff again in the future. It's just, I feel like I love everything, and I would be totally limiting myself if I didn't like let myself try, you know?
Absolutely. And that's the beauty of being an artist, right? Yeah. Is the whole point. I think if you think about all the different artists that have changed their styles, I think those are the artists actually that have the most staying power. I mean, look at like, you know, we're taking obviously a very big example here, but Taylor Swift, right? From going from country to pop to folk, like she's jumped so around so much, but I think that's what keeps her relevant, right? People wanting to keep talking about her. Totally. Where some other artists, they kept the same thing over and over again. Some can pull it off, but but not everybody can. Yeah. Right. No, and totally. So I think it's important to continue to explore and to try and to test things out. Some artists, what they'll do is they have their one band that they keep on doing things. I know talk about alt Jarrett Reddick from Bowling for Soup.
Oh,
He has a
yeah.
country band.
Oh, really?
He does he
Wait,
has a
that's
country
funny.
band.
1985.
Yeah. Exactly. So and Jarrett's Jarrett's the sweetest person in the world. And so Jarrett has like this country because he's from Texas, so he has this
Cool.
country band.
Yeah, I
so
love
like
the idea of that.
so I sometimes right? So you can also, it doesn't even have to be yourself as an artist. You can create a complete side project that's a
Yeah.
completely different genre.
Yeah, I've been thinking. I love that Haley Williams just did her like 17 single not album thing.
That's
like,
right. I need to
so
listen to
cool,
that,
because
yeah.
I think like she's doing like band to solo like kind of thing. But maybe one day I'll do solo to band. Like that sounds so fun to me to just play guitar in a band. Maybe I'll do that.
Yeah, go. Exactly. So I do want to be aware of your time, so we'll wrap it up with a couple of quick questions for you. These are some fun questions.
Totally.
So first question I have for you is, what was the very first concert that you went to?
Oh my gosh, the very first concert that I went to was Tyler the Creator on the
Ooh.
Igor tour. He played at the Kia Center, or what is it called? It used to be called the Amway Center. It's called the Kia Center. It's like on UCF's campus, and my sibling went there. So we walked over from their dorm, and I'd never been to a concert before. I think I was like 15. Like I was very like late to the game, and I remember I was sitting there and the crowd did the opener came on or something, and the crowd like cheered, and I literally was like, was that like piped in crowd noise? Because it sounded fake. Like it was so crazy. I remember just fathoming like how many people could possibly be. It's like when you look up the number of people that are in an arena and it's like 15,000, you're like, no way, 15,000 people are here right now. It was so amazing. Every time I go to a concert, I think I'm just like, oh my gosh, I love music. I love making it.
I felt the exact same way. I saw this band called The Format, which is very well known here in Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, cool.
And they played at the State Fair at the Coliseum there, and that was in front of like 10,000 people.
Wow.
At least 10 to 15,000 people, because they sold it out.
That's awesome.
And it's just amazing. Still to this day, it's like I'm just in awe, like seeing them. It's seeing something like that. It's just crazy.
That's so amazing.
Do you have a go-to artist that you're listening to right now?
Okay. This is a really good one. I should have thought about this before. I think, okay, honestly, right now I'm listening to so much Will Paquin. His new album just came out. I'm a big Will Paquin head. It's called Ha Ha Ha, and it is so freaking good. He's a guitar wizard, and I've been waiting for him to put new music out. I saw him in Philly a few years ago. And that show, I think I voice memoed like the whole thing because they were like mostly unreleased. And I was like, I just want to listen to all of them later. And he's putting them all out now. And it's like, it's just so good. Oh my God. My favorite album so far.
Last question for you is, if you're only able to give one piece of advice to a fellow musician, what would that one piece of advice be?
I think I'm kind of thinking like, oh, what would I say to myself? Like if I went back and I was just like, I'd probably just be like, oh man, just keep trying, because actually I feel like eventually things do work out. Like I've seen so many of, I've been online for a while, so many of my like online friends are seeing success after, I see them post like every day, and they would get like 20 likes a day, and they would just post and post and post and post. And some of those people like are at the VMAs now, and their songs have like almost 1 billion like it's crazy how quickly something can happen just by being consistent and believing in yourself when you might not have like a crazy audience. Like people will recognize that. Like I always stop on those TikToks that are like 10 likes, and I'm like, oh my God, this person is amazing, this person is so cool. Like people are seeing your stuff, and people will keep seeing your stuff if you're consistent. So believe in yourself.
Couldn't agree more. Well, thank you so much, Nep, for taking the time talking with us. It was great chatting, and congratulations again for the debut album that's coming out.
Thank you.
I already took a listen to it. It's absolutely amazing.
Oh,
and I
thank
definitely
you.
encourage everyone to check it out.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for listening to Creatives Prevail. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with others or leave us a review. They are an immense help. Now go out there and make something happen.